I just finally got confirmation that food stamps is officially cut for next month.
About 2 months ago, I stopped eating dinner almost every night of the week so that my boyfriend and I could have enough food left over to have lunch the next day. This was before we were about to lose our food stamps. Mind you, we both work.
I don't think that we really realize the depths that this is, the damage that this is going to do, but the women, the mothers, and the families, but the mothers especially, who are going to go without meals so their children don't have to. I know that I will absolutely be one of those mothers.
But because we have children and because aftercare and before care is too expensive, I've taken a job that's basically minimum wage so that I can be there to pick up my kids. I cannot fathom what we're gonna do without that food stamp money, because if I already couldn't eat dinner with that food stamp money,
I'm so tired of seeing people say like, oh, well, maybe if you had a job, you could get your groceries, or, you know what I'm saying, you wouldn't have to depend on stamps. I work full time. Thank you. And I do rely on stamps because guess what? It's not enough money in this economy for me to be able to pay bills and get stuff that we need and provide for my 2 kids. So yes, I depend on stamps. And I have a full-time job. So please know that people out here depend on stamps is not because we out here just mooching off the government. It's because we literally need that to provide for our family.
I work hard every single day. I get up every single day and clean houses, and I still rely on food stamps to feed my 6 children because the prices are so high. It's unrealistic to think about not having food stamps. Next month, I'm so terrified because 6 babies are always eating. Plus myself, I eat about 1 meal a day, but still.
You know, one other thing, our country has to remain very liquid because problems, catastrophes, wars, could be anything. We have to remain liquid. We can't give everything away based on a number. Here's an example. When I was president, the number that you're talking about was a tiny fraction of what it is now. Biden went totally crazy, gave it to anybody that would ask, gave it to people that were able-bodied, had no problem. Anybody that would ask, we get the number. And it's many times the number of people are on. This wasn't meant for that. It was meant for people that had real problems, in many cases people that were down and out, people that could be saved. It wasn't meant for people that could do whatever they want, the people that say, well, I don't think I'll work, I'll just, collect this money.
Across America right now, millions of people are lining up, not for concert tickets, not for Black Friday sales, but for food.
Today is only for federal employees and contractors from the federal government. I have never seen anything like going on like this, even with our regular food pantry. It's never been this many people.
90% of what I consume.
74-year-old Lorna Hall made sure to be the first at this line in Clinton, Missouri.
You've been here since last night.
Yeah.
It's that important to get what you need.
Yes. And I don't keep the car running. I can't afford the gas, so I have sleeping bags to stay warm.
Folks here share a similar raw reality.
I still feel bad that I have to come up here and sit on a line, to get food. It's embarrassing as hell.
Leo and Donita Barnett are among the 175 households receiving food today.
Thank God we got it. We'd probably be sitting down there laying underneath a tree somewhere.
It's a matter of life or death.
It is. It is.
Pastor Marty Reese oversees the distribution.
We're in serious times. I mean, people are struggling. Cost of living has went up. Everything has went higher.
Are you seeing more people coming through these lines?
We used to see maybe 50 to 60 cars. It's doubled, and it's probably going to get worse.
Parents, veterans, seniors, people who worked their entire lives waiting for hours, hoping a food bank has something left for them. While those lines stretches longer every single day, Donald Trump, the man who promised to make America great again, is fighting to take away the only thing keeping 42 million Americans alive. Yep, the government was ordered by the courts to pay the benefits, and Trump said nope. Let's take this to the Supreme Court.
Let me be clear. The president has both the funding and the authority to fund SNAP during a shutdown. In fact, every other president in every other shutdown has done so. People going hungry in this instance is a choice that this president has made.
The President of the United States is using hunger as a political tool. And with SNAP benefits set to expire tomorrow, Donald Trump's lawyers came to Boston yesterday to block $5 billion in emergency food aid. In our city, food isn't a bargaining chip. It's a human right.
Breaking news involving the fight over SNAP benefits. The Department of Agriculture says it will begin fully funding the program immediately. That announcement coming one day after a federal judge ordered the Trump administration to do just that.
The Trump administration is still appealing that ruling, but in the meantime, they're saying they are going to comply with this court ruling as is.
Trump administration asked the Supreme Court to immediately pause a federal judge's ruling that required the administration to fully fund SNAP for the month of November. And we just got word from the Supreme Court that they have granted the Trump administration's request. There are nearly 42 million Americans that rely on the SNAP program. Most of them, as I started the show talking about, children, seniors, or people with disabilities, families across the country. And while multiple states have already sent out some SNAP benefits to some of those people, and I'm not sure how they can be pulled back, hopefully they can't be, SNAP benefits are staggered. So some people get them on the 1st of the month, some on the 2nd or the 3rd or even the 28th. Every state distributes benefits differently. And even within states, the day one person gets their benefits is often different from when another person will. So even though some people may have already received this month's benefits, this decision is going to have an impact, an immediate one, on the lives of millions, if not tens of millions of Americans.
Want to hear some fucked up news? I'm sorry. This man has gone to the Supreme Court. Yes, Trump has asked the Supreme Court to block y'all food stamps. He is asking them to not allow 42 million people in the fucking country to not receive food this month. And he's asking them to do this shit in 2 hours, y'all. So this may be a reason why some of y'all haven't gotten y'all food stamps just yet fully. This man has a disdain for Americans that actually need help. I have never seen someone so hell-bent on watching people suffer.
Okay, the Trump administration is now emailing grocery stores telling them they can't offer discounts to SNAP-eligible Americans that can't afford food right now since Donald Trump is refusing to fund SNAP benefits. So over 30 days ago, the government shut down, and because of that, on November 1st, the Department of Agriculture ran out of money to keep food stamps going, and 41 million Americans lost their SNAP benefits, including 13 million children. Now, in response to this, the Trump administration could have taken emergency funding from Congress to keep these SNAP benefits running, to stop 41 million Americans from starving. Did they? Absolutely not. And because of that, groceries have started to offer discounts to those SNAP-eligible Americans that are no longer receiving benefits to help them during this hard time. The Trump administration saw grocery stores doing this and said, hell no, they're not allowed to eat, and told the grocery stores to stop. Now, if you're wondering why the Trump administration has the authority to tell these grocery stores to stop, it's because SNAP-eligible grocery stores have to comply with the equal treatment rule, which means they can't sell their products at a discounted rate to SNAP-eligible Americans. Now, the point of this rule is to prevent SNAP-eligible Americans from using their SNAP benefits to buy goods that are already at a discounted rate, not to prevent grocery stores from giving them a helping hand in a time where the federal government is failing to fund their SNAP benefits.
You heard that right. He's appealing hunger. Here's the shocking part. The court ruled that the government must pay out full SNAP benefits this month of November because the judge said it's a matter of life and death and that withholding the funds could cause irreparable harm to 42 million Americans. But instead of listening, Trump took that order and dragged it straight to the Supreme Court. Think about that for a second. The President of the United States of America is literally in court fighting to stop starving families from getting food. And this isn't speculation, it's happening right now. The USDA confirmed that they are only partially funding benefits, about 65%, leaving billions unpaid while legal battles rage. In Ohio, food banks say demand has doubled in just a few weeks. In Texas, lines snake around blocks, families waiting for bread, milk, or even just canned beans. In California, a mother told reporters, "I used to skip breakfast so my kids could eat. Now I skip dinner too." 42 million people. That's not just a number. That's more than the population of Canada. And speaking of Canada, look at what's happening here. Up here in Canada, the government is expanding assistance programs, helping families deal with inflation and investing in food security. Meanwhile, just south of the border, the US government is fighting in court to stop feeding its own citizens. Two neighbors, two different worlds. One is making sure people eat. The other is telling families, if you want food, go find it yourself. This isn't about money. It's about power.
So look, let's not waste time because there are families sitting in silence, checking their EBT cards, trying to figure out how they're going to feed their kids tonight. The government's telling us the same thing that they always tell us. There's no money. But somehow, the richest nation on earth, the one that prints its own currency, has an endless supply of cash for everything else except compassion. They got billions for war, billions for bombs, billions for other countries, billions for artificial intelligence that's taking human jobs. They got billions for the Pentagon, billions for Wall Street. They even got billions for the billionaires. Imagine that. But when it comes to feeding hungry people, feeding families, feeding the elderly, feeding children, all of a sudden they suffer from memory loss. Now all of a sudden they ain't got it. That's not an accident. That's not a glitch. That is the plan. Because starving the poor has always been one of America's oldest weapons. And you can see it happening right now in real time. The food stamps get cut off, no notice, no heads up, no plan, no backup plan, just silence. Millions are just left in limbo, staring at screens that say insufficient funds, while the politicians go on TV and argue about budget discipline. They say we're out of money, but what they really mean is we're out of mercy. And I'm going to say this clear. Donald Trump and his political army are leading this charge.
The government spent over 800 billion bailing out corporations during COVID. They approved billions for wars abroad. They gave Argentina $40 billion. But $4 billion for hungry families? Suddenly that's a problem. They call it fiscal discipline. But tell me, when you've got billionaires paying less tax than nurses and they are cutting food stamps instead, that's not discipline. That's cruelty designed as policy. And the cruelest part, this cuts hits the working poor, the same people they call real Americans, the same people that voted for him.
So on today's episode of FAFO, titled, "I voted for immigration policies, but instead I have my daughter's fridge empty." So here's how it started. On December 10th, 2023, Shotzi M. Moulton wrote, "Biden is the worst president in all of history. I hope everyone that voted for him is proud. This just pisses me off. Close the borders, Biden." Now let's see how she's doing today. And in response to a post from the White House on October 20th, Shotzi M. Moulton writes, "I really respect the post you've been sharing, but I have an honest question. What are we going to do about what's happening in the White House right now? People like my daughter, who works full-time to provide for her children, are being pushed to the breaking point. Grocery prices keep climbing, and now the small amount of SNAP assistance she receives, along with much of her medical coverage, is being taken away. Please don't say she needs to get a job. She already works 40 hours a week trying to make ends meet. And I don't want to hear that this is just a government or Democrat issue. This is absolutely ridiculous. What everyone in that house is doing to the middle class is wrong. It's time to take action and start taking care of the people who are doing everything right and still struggling to survive." Oh, Shotzi, you know how they're saying that there's a lot of wasteful government spending? Well, they consider your daughter a part of that since she's on SNAP benefits. And you voted for the party that historically is against government help. You voted in favor to separate families from each other, and now one of your own family members and their children may end up going hungry. And what I will say is the ones I do feel sorry for are your daughter's kids because they did not vote or could not vote for this. Well, you personally did. But anyways, have the day that you voted for. Bye.
This is bigger than politics. It's about dignity. Hunger doesn't just empty stomachs, it empties hope. When people can't eat, they can't walk, they can't think, and they lose faith in the system that promises freedom but delivers famine. And make no mistake, this is a political gamble. Trump is betting that Americans are too divided, too distracted, or too tired to fight back. But hunger doesn't care about politics. It hits everyone the same way, hard and hollow. I want to hear from you. If your government told you we are cutting your food, deal with it. What do you do? Because right now, millions of Americans are facing that exact reality, and it could happen anywhere. Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button so more people get to see this. In 2025, in the richest country on earth, 42 million people are going hungry, while their leader fights to keep it that way. Remember that next time someone says Trump cares about the people, because a starving nation isn't leadership. It's cruelty, plain and simple. So YouTube thinks you like this video over here. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Over.